You may have wondered at some point, I know I certainly have, which religion is the right religion? What should I believe? What religion should I belong to? Does it even matter? Most religions out there, not all of them, but many of them will teach they're the one right true religion, that they have the monopoly on truth, and everybody else is wrong. And some of them will go as far to say as if you're not a part of their religion, if you don't go to their church, even their unique denomination within the overall religion and church, then you are going to suffer for eternity in hell. So high stakes, right? How are we as human beings supposed to know when there's so many religions out there, so many choices, which one to believe in, to belong to join and trust, when an eternity of either paradise or suffering is on the line? There are no higher stakes, right? There's no bigger question to answer. By the way, if we haven't met yet, my name's David Michaels. Welcome to my channel. We talk about spirituality, metaphysics, life purpose, connecting with God, and more on this channel. And I have been a seeker of God, a seeker of spiritual truth my entire life, from a very, very, very early age. And like earliest memories include it, kind of thing. I was raised Roman Catholic, so if I talk about God, I might use the term God, I might use the male pronouns, calling God a he. That's just because of my background. It's just what's familiar, comfortable, force of habit. But as I was growing up, and I was fully believing the religion I was in, right? I had no reason to question it when I was younger. My parents believed it. Everyone around me believed it because we went to church and all our friends were Catholic, and that's just how it was, right? Didn't really question it until my teen years, maybe 14, 15 years old is when I really started questioning. I'm like, wait, there's a lot of religions out there, and some of them have billions of followers, billion with a B. Some of these religions are way older than Christianity. Catholicism is, 2,000 years, and well, it's got the Jewish tradition, so maybe it goes back another, maybe 5,000 or so. But like Hinduism, for example, predates written history. And it's still thriving to this day on this planet. Like, how do I know that's not the right religion? There's been other religions that kind of came and went. There might be traces of them around, or maybe they're extinct completely. I mean, even Christianity itself, like Catholics consider themselves, at least in my family, consider themselves Christian because they believed in Jesus. But then non-Catholics, the Protestants, often my Protestant friends would be like, oh, that's Catholic, not Christian. It's like it's a different category. When they would say Christian, they meant like all the non-Catholic denominations. But as a Catholic, we just saw ourselves as a different denomination. And there's tens of thousands of Christian denominations. You can look it up on Wikipedia out there. We're all reading the same sacred book. We're all following the same God, but there's tens of thousands of variations of how to interpret that. And some of them, they play nice with each other and like, well, it's okay if you're this denomination or that. We all believe in Jesus. We're all going to heaven. It's fine. But some of them, not so much. Some are like, no, if you're not part of our denomination, you're screwed. And I needed to know for myself, how do I know that what I believe is true? How do I know that I'm believing in the right religion? Like, was I just lucky and I got born into the right religion? Or could it be a different one out there? And, this is a tough question to ask yourself because especially if you were like me, where the religion was a big part of your life, like my identity was entangled in it. My whole family, we went to church every Sunday, and we didn't just go to church, we volunteered there. We were Eucharistic ministers and ushers and lectors, and I was involved in the youth group, and we listened to the Catholic radio station at home, and we watched TV shows like Touched by an Angel and Seventh Heaven because they had good Christian values and messages. Like, it was my whole world, a big part of my identity. And it's scary, it's hard to ask tough questions like, what if this big piece of my life is incorrect? What if I'm ignorantly believing a lie? And for me, myself, I felt it was more important to find out now whether what I was believing was a lie or not. And if I did discover I was believing a lie, that I would then find what was real, was true, and then I would just switch. So even though it was scary, it was important enough to me to be in the right religion, to believe the spiritual truth. Hopefully it was what I was born into and then nothing would have to change, or maybe it was a minor adjustment or something. But I was open, I was willing to find out, like, it could be anything. And I would rather find out now than live the rest of my life in a lie and then gonna die sooner or later one way or another anyway. It doesn't matter if it's a convenient lie. Like, I'll find out the truth then, and it might be too late then. So, like, I wanted to find out now, even though it was scary and it was uncomfortable, and it meant potentially an identity death. Like, it might have meant reshaping my entire life and how I viewed myself and oriented in the world and how I lived. Like, this was not a small thing. So I began searching and studying everything I could, learning from every religion I could get my hands on. When I got to college, I actually was a world religions major. And they had this cool thing. It was a big enough university where every Wednesday they would have, like, all the school social clubs set up a table in this one walkway area on campus. And you could kind of just, like, learn what all groups were on campus doing different stuff. And there were a lot of different religious groups. There was a few different Christian ones. There was a Jewish one. There was an atheist booth. They had their own table. And they're like, yeah, there's an atheist club. We don't believe any of that stuff. And plus, the other student activity social club groups that you normally get on a campus. And it was great. It was super convenient because I could go literally from one table to the next in a row and say, tell me what you believe and why you believe it's true. Because I'm seeking. I want to know. And I learned so much just talking with people one-on-one and in a more structured, formal kind of academic education through my major. And while I'm going through all this, I met with the Mormons along the way, because they probably had a table too or something. And the Mormons are big on missionary work and getting new converts, new recruits. They're very active in outreach, right? So they connected me with a couple missionaries, and they call them elders. And I'm like, you're 18. How are you an elder of anything? But that's just the term they use, right? And they would come to my apartment, they'd visit me, and they'd schedule the appointment and all that. Very respectful and polite and mature, responsible about it. And they kind of had their script, their routine that they go through with everybody. Like, okay, so here's the Book of Mormon, and this is a story about Joseph Smith, and they give me the whole spiel, right? And what you're supposed to do is when they leave you, they give you homework. They ask you, when on your own time, to with an open and sincere heart, to pray and ask God if Joseph Smith was a prophet and if the Book of Mormon is true. And for some people, they do that prayer and they feel the answer is yes, and then their next steps are to learn more about the Mormon religion and go through the process of getting baptized and officially convert. And if they say the answer was no, then maybe the missionaries might work with them a little bit more, or just let them go. The person's not open. They're not going to convert. There are other people waiting, right? So I did that because I wanted to know. And maybe Mormon is the right religion. Maybe Joseph Smith was a prophet, and the Book of Mormon is true, and that the Mormon Church, the Church of Latter-day Saints, as it's officially called, is the one true restored church on earth. that's possible. And I genuinely wanted to know, like, if that's the case, tell me now, so and I'll convert. Because it was more important for me to find the truth than to just stay with what was comfortable and convenient and already known. So one evening, I'm praying with God, praying to God, and I basically say that I have an open heart. I genuinely like want to know. Like, just tell me. And if you're not already familiar with my story, I've been able to hear and communicate with God since I was a little kid. So to hear an answer was no big deal for me. It was expected. It's easy at that point because I've been doing it my whole life. And I was open. I was ready, whatever the answer was. And this is what God told me. And it surprised me. I was not expecting it. I was expecting a yes or a no. But no, God's too clever for that. This is what I heard. And I quote, any person, religion, or organization that promotes, teaches, and encourages unconditional love is part of the truth. Okay, so that answered my question, and it also didn't answer my question. But that is what I heard. Any person, religion, or organization that teaches, promotes, encourages unconditional love is part of the truth. In that, he was explaining to me that it's not the organized religion that matters, it's the teaching, the practice, the nurturing, the support of unconditional love. Is it making you a more loving person? And if it's teaching and fostering and encouraging unconditional love, love is what's true. Love is what's real. So therefore, anyone who is teaching that is part of the truth. So I had my scheduled appointment with my Mormon missionaries, a few days or a week later, whatever it was. And they asked me, so did you say the prayer and ask if Joseph Smith was a prophet and the Book of Mormon was true? And I was like, yep, I did. Like, and did you get an answer? I did. Oh, great. What did you hear? And I told them exactly what I just told you. And the look on their face, they were just kind of like, this isn't in our script. What do we say now? They were ready for a yes. They were ready for a no. They weren't ready for that. So they're like, okay, where do you want to go from here? And I wanted to keep learning more, and I did investigate the church further, and some of my friends are Mormon, but I never felt guided to officially convert myself. I think there can be a lot of beauty and good in that church, just like in any religion. There that teaches about love, that helps you become a better person. It's part of the truth. So, which religion is the right religion? Which one should you belong to? Anyone that feels right for you, that helps you become more loving, that teaches you about unconditional love and encourages you to practice unconditional love. If your religion is doing that for you, great. You don't have to change anything. You can keep doing it. Keep going there. Keep believing in it. I think God understands that we're here in human bodies. We have limited knowledge, limited perception, limited understanding. There's a lot of options out there. It's very easy to get confused and overwhelmed with the choices. I think God just wants us to grow, to become better people, to become more loving. And if Buddhism or Hinduism or Islam or Judaism, Christianity, neo-paganism, atheism, New Age, whatever, none of the above, spiritual but not religious, which is, kind of how I define myself because I don't officially belong to any organized religion at this point. Interfaith, non-denominational, whatever term you use, whatever group you affiliate with, all I want you to do is ask yourself, are they teaching about unconditional love? Are they helping their members, including me, to be more unconditionally loving, to practice unconditional love, to understand and experience unconditional love more, to both give and receive? If your answer is yes, you don't have to change anything. At the same time, if you want to explore other religions and see if maybe that particular religion helps you even better, even more, maybe it just connects to you better, relates to you better, it's more fun and interesting to you, you like the people more, it's closer to home and more convenient, less of a commute, like, I don't know. Whatever the case may be, that's okay too. I don't think God's worried about the details. I think God's worried about the person, the soul, the heart. What is your intention? What is your motive? What are your aspirations? Are you trying to grow? Are you trying to be more loving? Are you trying to be more forgiving? Are you trying to be more grateful, nurturing and supportive, creative, kind, whatever? Because that's one thing I learned as I was studying world religions in college is the details of the doctrine, of the rules, of the rituals vary vastly, right? There's a lot of unique differences in there. And I think that's part of the beauty of it, really. But if you look at the aspirational values, the qualities, like what we are aiming for, it's the same stuff: love, peace, forgiveness, healing, charity, generosity, being kind to others. Most religions are teaching this. We might approach it from a different angle. We might use different sacred texts, different books and scrolls to explain why we should be doing that or how to be more like that, or different examples of people who have been like that. But it's the same values. It's the same stuff we're aspiring towards. It's unconditional love and the different attributes, extensions of that. Like, out of love comes things like kindness, generosity, gratitude, forgiveness, healing, patience, peace. Those naturally emerge out of unconditional love. So that's the answer I received. That has not changed at any point in my life. So it's what I continue to believe and trust. But you believe what you want to believe. Like, I'm not here to tell you to change your thoughts. If you think I'm wrong and like, nope, it has to be this religion and reading this text and you have to say this prayer or else you're doomed to suffer for eternity. Okay, you don't have to change that. I'm just sharing from my experience. You can believe what you want to believe. This is what I've learned. This is what I believe. This is how I'm living my life. And like I said, I don't belong to any particular organized religion right now, but I can appreciate and enjoy and learn from and benefit from most of them, maybe all of them. I mean, there's a lot of religions out there. There's, ones you've never heard of because they're small and they're so niche, and, some cult that worships some old deity from 1,000 years ago. Like, it's a lot out there, and that's beautiful. Find what works for you. Find what makes you feel loved, what teaches you to be more loving. That's the answer God gave me. That's what I feel. That's what I believe. That's what I'm living by. Bottom line, keep practicing unconditional love. That's what's real. That's what's true, whether you're religious or not. Love is what matters. And that is what I hope my message is on this channel. I try to take a non-denominational, non-religious, interfaith kind of approach where I honestly don't care what background you're coming from. If it's working for you, great. I want to help you have a relationship with God. I want to help you grow and heal as a person and live your best life, get on your optimal timeline, feel happy and fulfilled and connected to yourself, to others, to your angels, to God. You can do that from any religious background. You can do that from no religious background. That's my message. That's what I believe. So thank you for watching, and thank you for liking and subscribing. Check out this video right here. I think you'll love, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye. Love you.